Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at, I suppose, the damage. Well, I mean, there was a decent bounce. Still is, I suppose, a bounce of sorts. But, I mean, geez, these markets, all markets, they're convulsing, is what's happening. It's really what it's like. They're convulsing. We've got the total 2, which is literally sitting at the support. So if it wasn't those wicks, and we always talk about wicks as a particular situation where emotions really take hold. The wicks are one thing, the candles are one thing. We're above the 200 exponential, in fact getting support on it effectively today as well. And we're above the 1.21 trillion market cap, which is basically the Bollinger Bandish area, this horizontal as well. Again, candle bodies count for a lot. Support, possibly support. And again, wicks do tell a story. I always say that. That's one of my catchphrases. If you want to take that to the bank, wicks do tell a story in the form of either sell pressure or buy pressure, marking particular major areas where basically people get very, very scared. And same on the opposite. Moving up. It's the candle bodies that count for me. Well, not just for me, for everybody it should be the case, because candle bodies are the agreed price between the bulls and the bears. It's like the Houses of Parliament. They're all muttering and shouting and complaining and moaning, and then eventually, hopefully, by the end of that half an hour, they agree on something, or not, but whatever happens, it basically stays as a candle body. All of this is just the emotion. So, with that said, we're currently at the support now. It's scary to want to buy these areas, obviously, and with the situation that is not just limited to crypto, it spans across the board. We've got the S&P, whoa, wow, whoa, 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 crazy, absolutely crazy. The Dixie, even crazier. Boom, bullish chart still. Can't take that away. It's still a bullish chart. We shouldn't try to get too clever on this. I mean, look at yesterday. Bloody hell. Straight up to the top of the Bollinger Band. Not only that, but the dominance chart moved into the 64% zone. Basically just yesterday. Which, again, we don't normally talk about wicks being special or anything like that. But, I mean, that is a significant move. Just shows how wrecked altcoins were. So, you want to talk about altcoins, do you? Let's have a little think about some of it. So, I remember back in 2020, I don't know if anyone was old enough to remember that, back in the olden days of 2020, what it was like for altcoins back then. I remember. This is what it was like. So, altcoins were particularly unwanted. They were not happy. So, 2020, and then we had the first run, then we had the crash, obviously. But for the most part, they were not really parabolic or anything like that. It was the same kind of deal that it is at the moment. Everyone's like, well, we should have just bought Bitcoin, shouldn't we? It's all about Bitcoin. Maybe I should have never bought altcoins. Maybe I should move into Bitcoin. It's pretty clear now that I should have had Bitcoin. Maybe it's something I should buy now instead. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll get rid of my altcoins at significantly low levels and buy Bitcoin at significantly high levels. Well, I mean, if that's your choice, that's also fine. On a prolonged period of time, I'm sure that's a great strategy. The Bitcoins that I have, owned and kept, significant gains. Buying the Bitcoins around here, still have them, and most of them anyway. Buying the Bitcoins around here, definitely still got those. So yeah, good strategy. But also, just to put it out there, I bought Ethereum around here, and we're still having a nice time. It's still okay. Over 10x, 11x. Now, yeah, it should be higher, but it's not higher right now, but it's still okay. So look, whatever your strategy is, make sure it's your strategy. Don't steal from somebody else. So thinking about altcoins in general, it's still the same. It is still the same. the expectation is still the same. The total two fractal, the expectation between now and September is still the same. And if anything, that these wicks down here, which were significant, should have filled any kind of limit orders that you would have had. I'm a big believer in having your limit orders set up before any kind of move. And look, for me, the only limit orders that were filled for me were that of Ethereum. And it happened very, very quickly. And the biggest limit order that I had was 2,800. So I'm actually down on that one. I'm actually down on the 3,000 one that I had back in this wick. So I am hoping that my strategy will come to fruition. This was a significant drop here, all the way down below the bottom of the accumulation zone. So all my areas now have been filled in Ethereum, which now puts me fully into this market. I've got a decent portion of cash left, but significant amount committed to the market. So I'm basically hoping that this is going to bring me returns between now and September. Remember that, right? That's the exit. That's the exit month, September. Not 7.5 hours from today. No. September 2025. So let's reflect on the high term timeframes here. And let's leave it at that. So again, Ethereum being the main indicator that we think about when it comes to altcoins. This is still above the 200 simple and exponential, yet we are now below the 20 weekly. We've got to get above 3,100 to continue this move. Until then, that is now a resistance. 3,100 should expect to be rejected from it. Same kind of thing is going on with Bitcoin at the moment. Working on a spinning top, so it could go either way at the moment. And we've got that $100,000, well, it's a little higher than that. It's the Bollinger Band Center on the daily, 102 basically. What did I call it the other day? We've got to stay above that area, which was this candle body high, which is basically 102 point something. Wrecked City FM, I called it. That was before the big drop took place. That's basically what happened, was it? I'm not saying that I knew that that was going to happen. I absolutely didn't. I'm not going to pretend that I knew that there was going to be a giant, massive drop in the market. We recognised that altcoins weren't looking good for a while now. But I'm not going to say I called for an enormous, catastrophic dump. Mind you, we were measuring out significantly low targets on the Patreon, but again, they did sound pretty unreasonable at the time. Although, you know, I was saying I wouldn't buy things like XRP until it came down to like 160, and then overnight, whoopee-doo-dah, 178, not too far. So look, I mean, what we're seeing here is washout. But it's not, again, it's not completely limited to crypto. It's across the board. It's Dixie, it's stocks, it's Bitcoin and all of crypto. It's everything and everyone that ever was in a sea of red is what we're seeing. So when people talk about this market's manipulated, no, this market is vulnerable. Is probably the better way to look at it. It's not that it's particularly manipulated. All markets are manipulated. It's vulnerable. So we're looking at a vulnerable market at a vulnerable time. And really it's kind of like just choppiness, and you know, all charts need to find some balance in the end. Sorry, I think I'm getting a bit of a cold here. All charts require balance, right? And if they're particularly unbalanced, they do reflect on charts. You know, we see them on the money flow index, for instance, the RSI, if they do counter to the actual move, it's an imbalance, you know. If we're seeing lots of wicks and lots of chirping and lots of emotions, then it's unbalanced. What we always want to see is returns to moving averages or significant supports. And for Bitcoin, you know, technically there is some balance here, but the wicks are telling us that there is scrapping going on, there's battles going on. So I still believe that we have now until September to see new all-time highs for Bitcoin and for probably quite a few altcoins also. Let's not take away from what has been achieved so far, which was a decent close for January, as we expected, a green candle. Same thing for XRP. Now, there were the two main targets that we had. Bitcoin back up above 100,000 and XRP, above $3, and we got that. So a natural consolidation is probably required anyway, and then after that we shall have continuation. But it doesn't quite look like it's going to happen today. But what I would say, if you want to have a little bit of hopium for anything, is that wicks tell the story, and so far the buying has taken place. We've got, just on XRP alone, we have a wick of 44%. All right, yeah, and that's just XRP. But this isn't over yet. Okay, we've got Donald is talking to people about stuff, and then he's talking on the telly about stuff. So these words will continue to shake the market, the Forex market, stock market, crypto market. And you've got to be prepared for it all. Now, if we do sort of break down from here and mark off a bear market, that's something I suppose you could start to think about. I wouldn't really be thinking about the word bear market until Bitcoin starts closing below the center of this range. We're talking 87,000 or below. Then, yeah, we could think about bear market as a possibility. But still, I don't see it. It doesn't make sense for a bear market to begin right now. We're thinking, if anything, a pullback. Even a crunch, a crash, a dump. It's fine. Not a bear market. It just doesn't make sense in terms of time. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We will have to wait and see. I think it's all going to be perfectly fine. Right. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.